watching us around the world. It is time for PSGL, and we are here for round number 8 of the championship here in PSF3, and it is time to take to the Circuit de Barcelona Catalunya for what can only be a very interesting race on a very interesting circuit, obviously used for F1 testing. And joining me alongside for today's live stream is the, as always, wonderful, as always beautiful, as always from up north, Logan. How are we?
As always, beautiful. You've never seen my face.
I just know you're beautiful. It's just, I just sense it. I know.
Oh, well, thank you very much. Yes, we're here at the Circuit de Catalunya, amigos. Or Circuit de Barcelona, Catalunya, amigo.
I think amigos is a Mexican word.
Really?
I think it is.
Well, I've heard it used by remember the Three Amigos? They were Spanish footballers.
Who knows? We can debate it all live. We can debate it all live.
Yes, we're here at the official/unofficial test track of Formula One. This is the Circuit de Barcelona Catalunya here in just outside Barcelona, Spain. It is a 4.65 kilometre circuit and has went through a couple of changes over the years, most notable of which being that the final chicane that was before the final corner is now gone. It is now a sweeping penultimate turn 13. And of course, turns 10 and 11 were changed back last game. So it is back pretty much to its almost original form, which is fantastic news. So we're probably going to expect much faster racing, much faster lap times, of course, as we have all the drivers away on their first lap. We have 15 drivers tonight, of course, kind of a bit lower than we expected, but hey, we've got a race in our hands, so that's good to know. What should we know? Who is here tonight? We have quite a few absences. One of the most notable is Luke Thomason, last week's winner. Not last week's winner. We take a 2-week break due to Christmas and New Year. New Year, new us. Actually, same old us. Yes, back in the last race where we were in Singapore, Luke Thomason was the winner, but unfortunately he's taken ill and will not be racing tonight. Neither will Top G, who is currently third in the standings, but we do have the top two in the championship, Myers and Hazara, separated by what looks like 9 points. So a win and a bad result for the other. So a win for Hazara and a 5th place for worse for Marius will give Hazara the lead of the championship again. Of course, that depends if that happens tonight. We've got some drivers already on the track. Who have we got, Byron?
Well, we've got Hazara leading away the first laps here at Circuit de Barcelona Catalunya, and as we know, Hazara is a very well-known and very well-proven talent within PSGL, and definitely got some good pace, so this is always a good lap to go on board with, and always going to be a good benchmarker as well. But you've got to be careful, although this track isn't quite as easy to invalidate as your likes of Austria, it isn't exactly easy either, so drivers are going to have to be a little bit careful, keep on their toes a little bit as well. And it is not going to be the easiest of times as Hazara comes up the hill and very nicely within track limits here. Obviously, you want to keep within those track limits as much as possible, especially down here. If you run a little bit too wide on the exit, they really want to use as much of this track here. It is one of those tracks, you can use a lot of those track limits, but you don't always want to use it quite as much because it can get that lap invalidated and it can come at a crucial point. But Hazara setting the benchmark, setting that initial lap time, and it is a 1:10.926, so a good representative lap time there, beaten by teammate Angelo there, who don't think I've seen at PSGL F1 F3 race so far this season.
Angelo?
Yeah.
Just checking on the scores. Angelo was in round 5, which I was absent from, and that was my birthday, actually. 25 I turned last month. He finished 9th place for 2 points, and he is bottom of those who have scored points. Nick Leope, who didn't participate. Leonardo, who left after one race. Lewis, who's only participated twice, Indy, who's participated 3 times, and Yannick, who's also reserve. They have all scored 0. So we've got 23 drivers that have scored some points, and they're all still in, but 3 of them are reserves. So I think everyone here, as far as I know, has scored points.
Well, that is brilliant as always. We love it when drivers are going to be competitive and fight till the very end. We are getting our way through qualifying very nicely as things stand, and we are getting through the laps, and the drivers are too. Obviously, your benchmarker time so far set by Angelo there on a 1:10. 1 minute 10, 7:39, followed there by Evil in second, 2 Red Bulls there in third and fourth. So a good showing so far for Red Bull in this qualifying session. Obviously equal cars as always, so no blaming it on the car. It is just man and machine, and extracting as much lap time out of it as humanly possible, and it is not looking all too bad so far for some of our drivers. I mean, we've got Raphael on a lap time now as well. I believe this is a flying lap. It does look like it is a pretty decent lap, and obviously those brake marker boards having already been taken out by the drivers, because they know they're going to want to abuse and use all of that track later on in the session.
Byron, those brake markers are way too close to the track. I'm sorry, I think.
Oh yeah,
I'm not sure if that's like that in real life, but it definitely shouldn't be like that. Should mention, by the way, the last driver at set a lap was Kihilu with a 1:11.01, just 100th of a second nearest his nearest rival, that is Slash. But currently it's Angelo, of course, with half a tenth up on Evil in the Evil Alpine. All the drivers are about to do their second lap. Gosh, they're really out of the blocks fast today. It doesn't seem like it's going to be raining for a while, unless I'm completely mistaken, because looks like they just want to get this out of the way as fast as possible, it seems. One more note, Alfa Romeo. As you may have known, they have changed their name to a certain betting company I don't think we can mention due to, let's just say, legal issues, perhaps. So, and we've also been told not to name them Alfa Romeo for the foreseeable future. Instead, we're just going to call them by their own name, Sauber. Yes, we're going to be calling them Sauber. This was not my call. This was not Byron's call. I believe this was Big C's call. Was it, Byron?
I mean, whether it was just applicable to PCF1 or whether it was applicable to the wider PSGL, I have no idea, but I just thought, hey, I'll be safe than sorry before I get obliterated by Big C for calling it Alfa Romeo. So for the foreseeable, it is Sauber Esports there, but obviously still running that distinctive red and white Alfa Romeo livery that we are very used to seeing over the years in Formula 1, but just calling it under that new name, just so I don't get beaten up.
I remember when it was BMW, Byron. Much better times.
See, I'm not that old.
Oh yeah, they had Robert Kubica, they led the Drivers' Championship once, but that was won by, is that Glock, Lewis Hamilton. By the way, before you distract from the action, Evil is started a lap and he's trying to get a half a tenth faster. He probably has to go at least half a tenth faster if he wants to secure that top spot, pole position for this race. 33 laps we are doing tonight around this 4.5 kilometer circuit. Yes, of course, this used the test track by Formula One. I don't think it was it? Yeah, sure it was used. I thought it was used because he used this in Bahrain.
No, not last year. Last year it was only Bahrain.
Strange.
Yes, I believe Bahrain is becoming the testing track for Formula 1 as opposed to Barcelona for some reason. Probably because it's easier logistically, because you have to take freight less.
Well, Evil has set the top time, but not on my much, only 1800ths, and it's immediately smashed by Sauber's Riley Mackay, 2 tenths and change faster than Evil, so I don't think Evil was particularly happy with his lap time. Devon now coming across the line. He breaks into the top 10, albeit barely, a 1:10.917. Going in the 1:10s, it shows how much difference the adjustments to the track have made these times tumble down compared to last year's game, and of course we know that Angelo getting back above Evil in the 1:10.5s, but only 8 hundredths, pardon me, down. Raphael in the Aston Martin is on the bottom as LRB has set a 1:11.054. The two Mercedes right at the back, not really what you want to see if you're a Mercedes fan. They're not used to that, used to being near the top. Got a quite close battle going on between third and sixth, all in the 1:10.7s. Evil and Justin separated by 2 thousandths.
Yeah, fine margins as always. Raphael there coming up for another hot lap. Some drivers trying to blast around on a flying lap. I believe one of those is Marius from on there, who goes up to 8th place there. So an improvement, not a huge improvement, only just over a 1/10 of a second, but it's still not a bad improvement nonetheless for Marius there, beaten by Spicer though, who gets up into 8th. And I believe that was Ethan going up to 6th there. So a lot of movement in the early parts of qualifying, but not looking half bad. These drivers very competitive, very close. We should definitely be on for a good race. Think about that long straight, the amount of overtaking opportunities that opens. It is going to be absolutely crazy, and I am very excited to look ahead to this race. But we have got about 7 minutes left on the clock for this qualifying session, and it is one that is certainly going to spring up a few surprises, I think. We're looking at the likes of Riley McKay, who we know is very fast, but other drivers who are going to be looking to get up there. I think Hazara probably a little disappointed with the lap time as things stand, but I mean, who are you keeping your eye on mostly for these final runs?
I'm keeping my eye on M. Sapala. M. Sapala currently 4th in the championship. With Top G absent, he probably needs a high enough result tonight. And we all know he's pretty good at his qualifying laps as M. Sapala comes into the pits right now. I should mention we've got breaking news. PSGL F3 driver from last year's Zorzo has won in F2. He has won in F2. He was the winner of the finale in Abu Dhabi last season in F3, and now he's won here in Spain in F2. Very well done to you, Zorzo. Love to see my former alumni going up the ranks and showing their true skills. Marcados, of course, was one of the drivers I used to commentate, and now he's one of the star attractions of PlayStation F1. Sorry, not PS. I'm not sure, who's the most famous driver you've commentated on?
Ooh, well, I actually commentate a few people who are signed to WR now, so it'd probably be one of those, because I actually used to race with a lot of them back in the days of F1 2020 and 2021 when they were just as washed as I was. I used to race against plenty of the top tier drivers now, because I at one point was not bad at this game. However, I now very much am. In fact, so there are some people who actually watched the PSGL Commentators Cup without knowing I was there, and noticed it was me, and I am incredibly embarrassed to this day because people actually recognised that it was me for how bad I performed.
Hey, I feel worse. I lost to Jess. No offense to Jess, obviously. It's the thing is, I was always in front of her, but I always got penalties, and I blame myself for not doing well enough, and
Well,
yeah, it's quite a shame. But anyway, the cyber driver of Riley Mackay is making his way around the final few corners, trying to set the benchmark even higher, perhaps to go into the 1:10.4s Actually, no,
This
I
is a
think he's
preparation
backed
lap.
off.
Yeah, looks like it's
Yes,
a
he's.
preparation lap. Probably coming into the pit lane for another change of tyres. I tell you what, though, someone who is trying to set some pace is Hazara. Only 4 thousandths up this point, but still blasting around the final sector now, coming around the final corner. Obviously, this section different from what it used to be. There's a few changes that happen to this circuit. And, right, guys, could we settle laps, please? Because, you know, you're setting pace and then just coming into the pit lane. I'm getting bored. Well, I'm sure the likes of Lapa certainly will probably be setting a lap time, given there's not really much time left on the clock to come in and change his tyres. So hopefully Lapa decides to actually give us a lap time that's set on the board. But moving through we go. This final sector, obviously heavily different from what it used to be. That first corner there, and then round here, and this final corner, and it's invalidated.
Invalidation. And I noticed he's got the number 15, which is the lowest number that has... Oh, Rally Mackay's given up. He is not going for another lap. That's quite strange. Larpa would have improved with that lap, but he's not. I think he's going again, though, is he? No, I think he's backed out. Yeah, it looks like he's backed out. But yeah, I was going to say the number 15 is the lowest number that has never been taken as a permanent number since its implication 10 years ago. Fun fact today, no one's ever taken a number 15.
Well, that is very random. I used to race with the age I was, so I used to race with the number 13, all the way up until I was 16. So
I would choose the number 98 because I was born in 98.
I forget how old you are.
25.
Yeah, I know, it's crazy. 17-year-old me, just, you know, it's crazy. But to be fair, you've seen a different side of F1 to me. You've seen the dark side. I mean, my favorite number is 43, but that's the number I used when I was doing racing, whether that be competitive, karting, single seaters when I was young. Well, I still am, but when I was younger. But we are getting to those all-important final laps.
What's going on? Everyone's not setting a lap. Angelo's coming out for his final gambit, and I think this could be the one. Justin is not setting another lap. What has happened? Why have they went out so late? It's just ruined all the tension. Spizer's, well, he's not going to do it. He might as well just crash the car. He's not causing any,
into the pit lane?
Red flag. Yeah, he goes in the pit lane. Kahilu is on a lap. Spicer just saw him anyway.
That's really random.
I don't know. Anyway, Ethan is in 7th right now, and he's going to try and get somewhat higher. Angelo, you better go quickly. There's only 40 seconds to go. Quick, or you'll be locked in and you won't get the crystal. Oh, wait, hold on. That's the crystal maze. Coming around the final 2 corners, he will, and he'll start his final lap trying to get all the oomph out of this car so he can get as much speed down that long 1 kilometre straight, which dominates the landscape of this track. It is a fantastic straight for battling. There's been a lot over the years. I think it was at Senna Mansell, and Justin's not going to be setting another lap. So the only driver in the top 5, correction, one of 2 drivers in the top 5 setting a lap is Myers, and Angelo Myers goes second. It's now a Sauber 1-2. Sapalo's not setting another lap, is he? No, he's backed out.
Nope.
Ethan's on a lap.
Up to the line. It's a small improvement, nothing worth raving about or talking about all too much. But now we got Angelo, I believe, final driver to come across the... Oh, Hazara is also on a lap by the seams of it. Nope, that's I'm going to help my teammate and give him a slight little tow. So it's just Angelo to cross the line and finish off the qualifying session. Purple sector 2 there for Angelo. And we need about a tenth of a second there to get up to pole position, but it could disrupt the front row. Will it be Angelo onto the front row? Come around the final bend now, up to the line as I decide to hiccup, and it is very nicely done there. Half a tenth improved, and that puts Angelo there up onto the front row for the Spanish
And
Grand Prix.
that is the session over.
Yeah.
So it is a poll for Riley Mackay. Angelo spoils a possible Sauber 1-2 on the night of their rebrand in PSGL, allegedly. Justin Justin rounds out the second row. His teammate Spicer rounds out the third row, which also features Evil. Impsapala and Ethan have got the fourth row. The top 10 is completed by Kilo and Hazar on the fifth. Bad performance from Hazar in qualifying, not what he wanted. Then we've got Larper and Devon on the sixth row. Flash and LRB in the seventh row, and on his own in the final row is Raphael in the Aston Martin. By the way, the times. Last place was within 2/3 of a second of pole. That's pretty decent. And the top 10 were separated by around 1/4 of a second.
Not bad at all then. So let's run you through those qualifying results as Logan already has, but let's just get at you on this now screen whilst it's all here. Riley Mackay then on pole position with a 1:10. 5:14, followed by Angelo there, just a 300ths behind. Maras on third, Justin in fourth, Evil fifth, Spicer sixth, seventh for Impsapala, Ethan in eighth, Kahilu ninth, 10th for Hazara, Lapa, Devin, Mlash, LRB, and someone who I literally can't see and have completely lost. Raphael there in 15th. So that is...
I gave you the grid, didn't I?
You did read the grid,
Grid.
yes. Yeah, but I just had the fancy menu with, everything on. So
fair enough.
I like that fancy menu. It's quite nice.
I'm not going to argue with you. Sponsors. Anyway, we have a main sponsor, and that is GTR Mega. They are the leading manufacturer of gaming peripherals, from gaming chairs to sim racing cockpits. Improve your gaming setup today with GT Omega. If you use PSGL as a code at the checkout, you'll get 5% off on your next purchase with GT Omega.
I know no one's going to act on this, but if you happen to be a brand interested in working with PSGL, or know a brand that would be interested in working with PSGL, please email Byron Hale at premiersimgl.com, because we are looking for new sponsors and partners ahead of our next game cycle on F1 2024. I just thought I would throw that out there because... Look, we're looking for more people, and we want to try to get as many brands involved as we can as we move on to next year's F1 game. So if you're interested at all, then that is the place to do it. But Logan, we're here for the Spanish Grand Prix, a track that drivers know very well. A lot of drivers spend a lot of time on this track because it's very good to test better car and really get a feeling for your pace. It contains a variety of corners. You've got slower speed, higher speed, and really fast and sweeping, and a lot of slower, more technical corners. This track is very good for benchmarking your car in a variety of conditions, and really getting a rough idea of your overall pace. Who do we think has the advantage when it comes to that overall pace?
Well, Hazara needs to get up the order today, and we know he's got very good pace in the race, so I'm expecting a big run up the order from him. Hopefully it's tonight, and it has to be tonight. Top G's not here, so he can take full advantage of that. We know his racecraft's good, we know his qualifying hasn't been that great, but, of course he had that first round crash in Suzuka, but we always know he can bounce back. And he bounce back well. Can he do it tonight? It's crucial now he does it, especially with... Okay, it's not... I'm not Top G, sorry. Trying to get one up over Marius. Marius in second place. He had a shocker last time, and he doesn't want to do the same again, so we've got to think Marius is going to be up there as the favourites, but he's got to fight Riley Mackay and Angelo for that top spot. So you want to watch both championship contenders tonight, as always. We've still got 4 rounds to go, 3 after this. There are 68 points available, so it's still well all to play for. And tell you what, it's taking quite a while. I wish we had the countdown clock, We
Yeah,
don't. It's quite
I have
unfair.
no idea why we haven't got the countdown clock, because normally you would get it, or you'd have some level of indication as to what is going on, but here we go! We have an indication as to what's going
Finally.
on now. I'm riding on board with the car for some reason. 5 red lights, and it is lights out and away we go here at Spain. 33 laps ahead of us here, and it is a good start for Riley McKay there. It is a slow one for Angelo, who's already lost the place there to Maros into turn number 1. Evil there slightly alongside there as we go through turn number 1. Evil there having I believe got on past Justin Emsapala there, battling with Spicer in the background. So that is a battle to watch. Absolutely, those drivers will go hammer and tong. Lapa there losing a couple of places and battling there side by side with Devin there for 11th. So trying to get into the points. Hazara not having a great start. Hazara needs a good race here, and it is not fruitioning so far on lap number 1, but plenty of laps to go and plenty of action to happen as we run through the laps. But Riley McKay leading the way by 7 tenths per second. That is Raphael, who has gone round and is already 10 seconds behind the field. That is pretty much your race over. PSGL always so close, margins so fine, and that's already pretty much a race ended. But 7 tenths the lead there as we come round to begin lap number 2, and Riley McKay has really extended the gap here. That is a brilliant margin already, nearly 9 tenths of a second. That is exactly what you want to do on the opening lap of a race. You want to send fear into your rivals that you're about to extend
Byron.
and set a benchmark.
Byron, Riley's on softs. I don't know why he's on soft. Everyone else is on hards. This is quite the gutsy move from the race pole sitter. Raphael has had a horrible start. He spun in turn number 3 and has already fallen 10 seconds behind his nearest rival, LRB, in 14th. Spicer went off the track at the start and has already fallen down to 7th. Marius and Riley, it's a Sauber 1-2, and the gap is already 1 second, so I think I know what's going to happen here. Marius is just going to go defense, let Riley do his thing, and make sure nobody even comes close to touching Riley McKay. This is great teamwork from the Sauber boys already.
Absolutely, but just because we think they're working together doesn't mean they are. The difference between those soft and hard tyres, there is a big pace difference. It doesn't mean that they're going to play nice, and especially when those tyres begin to drop off, does Marius begin to become a bit greedy when they do. But it's looking very nice from Riley McKay out in front by over a second as things stand, but there is a long way to go in this race, and this is a different strategy. It is a gamble. But it's a gamble that I'm sure Riley McKay will really be hoping and putting their bets on. But I believe that was a little bit of a mistake there for Riley McKay as we go through and up the hill once again. And Marius is nearly within a second. So those softs really having fallen off a cliff very, very quickly indeed.
So we had Ethan try and go up for Spicer's 7th place down the straight without the DRS. Quite the gutsy move from him, but he could not pull it off. We may have to wait until the first DRS going off the race, and it's going to be Angelo that gets the taste of DRS first, with Marius not being close enough to Riley. Remember, 1 second is the crucial margin to get within. It's a long DRS chain, and expectedly all of the cars stay where they are. But look, Healer right behind Ethan. He's got a good run into turns 10 and 11. A fancy hairpin that is. Coming around the final few corners once again. He's going to have a nice run out of these corners, and he brakes very nicely. Just has to apply a bit of brake, but that's totally fine. Don't want to overshoot this corner and ruin your race. What's this? Angelo going to the other side of the track. Quite an interesting strategy from Marius, not trying to stay in the slipstream. And it seems to have worked a bit. Healer got close to him, but it doesn't seem like anyone is getting through right now, Byron.
No, and that's exactly what you expect. You get a very nice DRS train here at Barcelona, just because these cars, they're able to keep close enough in the corners, and they're able to keep close through, especially that last sector now. You remember, if you go back a couple of years, that third sector was notoriously difficult for overtaking and having any resemblance of fun, but now it's a little more easy, it's a little more flowing, and it's a little easier to get to that car in front, so it should for overtaking ever so slightly. But when everyone's got DRS, it is difficult to make a move. It does add a little bit more of a danger to making a move and trying a different strategy. But obviously, Riley McKay out in front by 2 seconds now. So I think Marios is going to be feeling the pressure a little bit here from Angelo, because you do gain quite a lot of time down this straight, about 5/10 of a second, which it was about the gap come the DRS detection point. But for Angelo, not really feeling the overtake as things stand. And if you look at the battery on Marios, you will understand exactly why Angelo is not bothered in the slightest, because Marios has got a massively depleted battery there, all the way down into below 10% there for quite a bit of the start of this lap. So really not great if you're Marios, because you're having to use a load of your battery to try and keep the curves behind, and it's just a losing battle if you're Marios right now.
Yeah, and Riley, I think they're just waiting for Riley McKay's shoes? Well, it's technically shoes, they're tyres. The soft tyres to wear off. By the way, I'm getting a lot of going on. Are you getting any lag?
I'm getting lag on your end, yeah.
On my end?
You're lagging.
I'm lagging, I'm not in the... Oh, am I lagging on the voice?
You're lagging on the voice, yeah.
Oh, right. I think it might be connection. Are you okay if I try and rejoin or something?
Yes, that's absolutely fine.
Right, try and invite me back then.
No worries.
I'm gonna restart my PS5.
Okie dokie. Well, we are here on lap number 6 of 33, as mentioned just now. Logan has disappeared for the time being, just to sort out his, well, everything really, to try and get that PS5 working nicely and try and get that connection a little smoother and a little bit nicer. But Riley McKay out in front by 2.2 seconds here, and the gap did close ever so slightly, and well, it's because Angelo did get past Marios Formula 1 and up into second place. That's exactly what you want to see if you are Marios. You are not going to be liking it all too much, but you are going to be reveling in the fact you now get to charge that battery, because you do use a lot of battery around a circuit like this. It is not an easy track at the best of times, and it is one that you will really struggle with on that battery if you don't have the right sort of conditions. If you're out in front and having to defend a lot, you're going to use a lot of your battery. It's similar to Monza in that way, or Imola as well. That's another circuit that it is very similar to in terms of you use a lot of battery and you don't recharge much through the lap. This one's a little more favourable. It does have some heavier braking zones, and Angelo is beginning to reel in Riley McKay here on lap number 7, and it's no surprise those softs will be beginning to go off ever so slightly, and it is not a problem at all. I am gonna quickly try and invite Logan back to this party, because he seems to be having many issues, and for once I'm not one of them. So we will take the small wins when I eventually find his name, which is apparently proving difficult. For someone who shouldn't find that difficult, it was very difficult. And we now got to send him an invite to the game as Logan does return, and I've dropped him an invite as well. And there we go, we are back into the action, and Marios has overtaken Angelo there and is back up into second place, but keeping very close and nearly going into the back of Marios there is Angelo. So these drivers separated by such fine margins as always, and the DRS train continues very strong. The DRS train running all the way from second all the way down to 14th, so a 12-car DRS train, and it is just chugging along very nicely as things stand.
Right, how do I say no?
Pardon?
How do I sound now?
Oh, you sound much better.
Oh, thank goodness for that. I terribly apologise, guys, if we had some technical problems. That's PlayStation for you, and, you know, I can't really do. Oh my goodness me, the brake boards are being torn apart by the entire field as they come round. Continue once again. It is lap number 9 here at the Circuit de Barcelona Catalunya, and once again Angelo doing an interesting tactic of staying out of the wake of Marios and going to the other side, the dirty side. Quite an unusual tactic, but it seems to be working out for him because nobody's got past him. Because he hasn't got past Marios yet, so, but still a long way to go. Quarter of the way through the race. Raphael is falling well behind, by the way. Still hasn't got anywhere for this race. He's down in 15th, and we have a move. Ethan and Kahilu fighting for 8th place.
And Sapala versus Justin as well there, battling for 5th and 6th respectively, and it was Sapala who came out on top on that particular occasion. But yes, Ethan there battling with Kahilu, and these drivers, they're going to be battling quite a bit as we get through the laps, because they're going to become a little bit more desperate. They're going to want that sweet positions all the more, and they're going to become all the more worthwhile and desperate to get each and every one of them. So we are beginning to run through, as I have just seen the PC, if you hear coming from PCF1, yes, it has crashed, because just as OBS has crashed, and you guys should be back up and running shortly. But if you are joining us from PSF1, then hello, we are here in Spain just as you are, and we're literally on lap number 10 of 33, and we got an amazing battle cooking so far. Riley McKay having taken a gamble on those soft tyres. There's quite a way to go in this race, and it's a different strategy, so we want to see how that one pans out, and it could pan out any number of ways in this race. But Angelo and Marios continuing to swap places and duel it out for P2 and P3, and it is anyone's guess as to what happens at PSF1 is back.
Sorry, Byron. Devon has had a spin at turn number 10, and he's fallen right off the course, and now is back in 14th place. I think it was his teammate that went into the back of him. Oh dear, not very good team tactics if that's the case. Meanwhile, Marios is having a go at Angelo once again. They have swapped positions, or have they not? No, they have swapped positions. So, Angelo now, it's his job to try and catch up to Riley. Well, best of luck with that. Riley's still on softs. He still's not showing any sign of struggle. And Marios has the experience and has the pace. But he's also used up a lot of his battery.
Yes, Marios' battery very depleted, and not exactly what you would want in an ideal situation, but that's really what you have to do at a circuit like this. It's not easy to keep good pace and to keep the battery, as I was saying whilst you did not hear. You know, this is one of those circuits where your battery will deplete incredibly quickly. It's similar to Monza and Imola in that sense, that you can get battery, sure, but holding on to it is very, very difficult because you do lose it, and there's not many opportunities to gain it. But we are moving through the laps, and some drivers are doing a much better job at managing their battery than others, and Marios could be thinking about a Rio take on Angelo, but no, not into the braking zone on this occasion, deciding to pull the same tactic that Angelo did on many a laps and just stick behind and keep it as it was.
So here we go then, lap number 12 of 33. And we've got Evil right on the back of Marios, who's right on the back of Angelo. The gap's starting to come down now though, Byron. 1.6 seconds, is that?
Yep, 1.6.
Oh boy. Get your skates on. Oh, Evil's had a bad moment through the curbs there at turn 8. That's going to cost him some crucial time. And now it's Marius on his own challenging Angelo for that second place. As we make our way round turns 10 and 11 once again. Gap starting to fall once again, 1.6 now between Riley and Angelo. Angelo really needs to get his skates on though, because we're coming soon to the first round of pit stops, and that's where it could all a difference in opinion of strategies. There you go, window open. We're looking for mediums, it seems. Be quite interesting, but here's Marios right on the back of Angelo, but once again staying pat in third place for now as the train gets closer and closer to each other. My word, it's like a long queue of people waiting in line for McDonald's.
Specifically McDonald's. I love that as an analogy. But 12 laps on those
You're
soft...
loving it.
Yeah, I am loving it. And I'm loving this race so far. And, I mean, someone who might be loving it is Angelo, seeing how much they're gaining on Riley McKay, because those soft tires must really be feeling second hand now after 12 laps of running, pretty much 13 laps of running at this point as well. No wonder that Riley McKay will surely be pitting very, very, very soon, because it is going to be a detriment to the ultimate race pace of Riley McKay to stay out all too much longer. But staying out on this particular lap, so maybe staying out 1 or 2 laps more, but you can't really justify much more than that now that Angelo is in that DRS, because this is where those hards are now so much better than the soft compound tires. I mean, you really see it through the corners already that the grip isn't there as much for these soft tires. They've lost a lot of that ultimate grip that you would expect. So those hards, they're really coming into their window now, and that is exactly why Angelo has been able to catch and get within 1 second now of Riley McKay for P1 in this race, and that is Devin there, who's gone round once again and now joins Raphael towards the back end of the field there. So now plumb last in this race, but DRS for Angelo here, and that is the first time in this race that second place has had DRS, because that is the first time that second place has been within 1 second of that race leader. So it's definitely an improvement and a sign that those softs are really, really struggling. And it comes in there as I did expect. Riley McKay, really, those tyres weren't going to hold on all too much longer. It is got to be asked, though, what tyres are going to be replacing those soft tyres? Is it going to be mediums? Surely it's mediums.
Let's find out. Also, it's mediums. Hazara's also, and this will be for mediums for sure, as he comes in and gets those tyres changed. And we are now going to have Hazara and Riley McKay on equal footing here. And it looks like that Raphael, or Devin maybe, yes, Devin and Raphael are rolling for Hazara. So he's going to have to get through 2 extra drivers. That's about 3.2 seconds towards Riley McKay. So, not ideal, but then again, he is going to be now on equal footing with Hazara. Maybe if they bunch up, we'll have a race on our hands between them. As the leaders start to come in, they saw Hazara do the undercut, quite a crucial one in terms of the championship as well. 9-point gap between himself and Marios. As Angelo, what's his mind going through his mind? He's going to stay out again. We have a taker though, Sapala in the pit as well. Another one in the top 5, taking their chances. Epen, Larper and LRB as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's very interesting to think about that at some point, one of these drivers might gamble on a set of softs, and what are you owing out? What has happened?
We have a lead change. Marios is taking the lead. Sorry.
Not a problem at all. Yeah, there we go. Marios having taken the lead of this race. Obviously, Riley McKay having come in, and we're getting Angelo and Marios continuing to battle. And, well...
Oh. Whoa! Hazara right behind him, Sapala in the pits, and he nearly loses it through turn number 2. And Hazara has come out just behind Sapala. I think this is working okay for Hazara. He's got Raphael ahead of him, Sapala as well, though, so it might be a bit of a roll. I'm sure Raphael even driving that car, I think he's going to try something completely different, perhaps, especially with him being last place. LRB has overtaken Devon for second last place, I should say. But here we go. Hazara and Sapala have got DRS on Raphael, and it looks like there's going to be pit stops for everyone except Spicer and Kihilu.
Yes, absolutely. And these are probably for the medium tyres, you would presume. I do wonder if Kihilu and Spicer might be doing a slightly different strategy, going on to a set of softs perhaps, taking a bit more of a gamble onto a set of tyres that you know are going to be much, much faster. And we did see that the pace of those softs towards the end of that first stint wasn't terrible.
Out. Sorry, they're all coming out. It's all chaos happening. Someone's
Hazara's gone round.
Oh, Hazara's gone round. That is catastrophic. That is absolutely catastrophic. He needed these pit stops. It's all happening now, Byron. Angelo and Sapala having a battle. That's for fifth. This has worked out very well in Sapala's favour. Justin and Evil doing a battle. It's all kicking off now. We said the pit stops have changed everything. Still side by side, coming right at the corner. 7th place on the line. Coming into turns 7 and 8 now. Through the corner, and they're still barely can be separated. Justin gets ahead. What a battle these have been turning out. We've been completely rambling on and not talking about these battles, Byron.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. We're talking about the strategy and how the different ways this race could pan out. But these drivers, they just keep battling. They keep creating their own chaos and action here as Kihilu also comes into pit lane for a set of medium tyres, trying to get those fresh medium compound tyres. That's the fastest lap there for Riley McKay, so that is a sign that those mediums are really working, and we got some words of encouragement for Angelo in the chat, and no surprise, Angelo really putting in a good performance so far. Might only Ethan, yeah, that was very disappointing. That incident happened there at turn number 1. Ethan was involved there, as was Hazara, so no surprise. Ethan really disappointed, probably very frustrated. I'm sure if we had a little look at the Discord as well, there'd probably be a few expletives and real harsh language being used in the direction of other drivers, I can almost guarantee you. But language aside, it is still Spicer who leads the way, but it is Riley McKay leading provisionally by 4 seconds, by the way. Sapala might be in provisional second place, but is a absolute mile off the Riley McKay, who is leading the way so far. It is very interesting to see. You don't typically see margins that big, but it can happen.
We've got to move, and it's Marios ahead of Sapala, and right behind him is Angelo once again. It's really kicking off for provisional second place now. Mario's back into second, so it's a provisional server 1-2 once again. The extra oomph Marios has done, trying to keep everyone at bay away from Riley McKay, really done them really brilliant leads tonight. Riley now with a nearly 4-second lead, with Justin and Angelo having their own battle once again, it seems, and it looks like Justin is not going to touch him right now, and Evil is all for to try and get right behind him once again, Byron.
Yeah, absolutely, it's getting close, it's getting feisty once again, and all it takes is one courageous dive, or one darting move around the outside, or down the inside, and everything could change, and everything could be blown open in this race, and everything could change in the instant. And that is exactly what we are keeping an eye out for. We are 20 laps into this race, and, well, 20 laps, you know, having gone, it's certainly a very interesting one. And I think definitely, I did say about someone doing the alternate where they go on to set a softs, and I think that's definitely a Spicer there, because we're still going on those very worn, hard tyres up to this point, but the battle's continuing nonetheless, as drivers keep close still, and Ryan McKay, he might be out in front, but that gap has closed a little bit. It did go from 4 seconds to now 3.8, 3.3. Yeah, 3.3, 3.2. That is what I meant. It's been a bit of a long day, but yeah, that gap is closing ever so slightly. It is a case, though, of can Marios or M. Sapala close up and possibly go for an overtake?
Pfizer's in, he's coming into the pits, he's going to try the soft tyres, it seems, the inverse of Riley Mackay's strategy, and now he'll have the lead once again, but by only 3 1/3 seconds compared to 4 from last time. He is on 2 laps older medium tyres than his teammate Marios. As the battle starts to continue again, it's M. Sapala back into second place. And it looks like Justin there is getting involved as well. He looked having a move, but I don't think he's been successful in doing so. Look how close these drivers are. My make it, they're all separated. The top 6 cars, barring the leader, are within a second of each other. 1 second!
Yeah, fine margins as always. Really, these drivers keeping super close to each other, and no surprise that DRS train absolutely helping play a big part in that, but we are still getting ever so slightly closer. Sapala and Maris might be swapping places, but it seems like they might be working together a little bit to maybe try and get up to the back of Riley McKay, because they are gaining ever so slightly, little by little, and all you need is 2 tenths there, 3 tenths there, and you will be able to do it over a multitude of laps, and that might be exactly what they're trying to do, trying to play it safe now, just work together a little bit to have a shot of glory, a shot of that race win, and a massive opportunity towards them.
But no move made this time from Marios. M. Sapala staying ahead once again. Kilu and Larper right behind there. Slash starting to catch up, as well as LRB and Spicer. Spicer's about 5 seconds behind the train. He needs to do some catching up if he wants any shot of getting up the order. Meanwhile, my goodness, look how close Angelo was to Marios in turn number 5. These are finest as margins as you can get on this track without coming together. But now the gap's starting to go iron again. It's 3 seconds between Riley and M. Sapala. Those drivers right behind him, they're like a furious mob coming after you, giving absolutely everything just to get that victory. It doesn't seem like it's going to stop, but time is running out. There's 11 laps to go when we get to the finish line once again. Riley Mackay looks very comfortable, but don't rule everyone else out. Marios now is going to be fighting. Evil's going to be fighting. Kihilu's going to be fighting. They're all trying to find some way to stop the other driver getting past, but it's not working for M. Sapala. He's lost a place and he's going to lose another one to Angelo. Is he? No, Angelo's off the track and has lost position in Justin. This is bad news for Angelo. Hazaras went back and now his teammates went back and now he's trying to get back. Evil at bay from 5th place. It's all falling apart. It's all kicking off in the mid-pack. And now Evil down the inside. Whoa, no, he's had a collision with Angelo. And through comes Kihilu trying to get through. But he can't get past Evil. He gets past Angelo. Angelo has lost 5 positions in what seems like 5 corners, Byron.
Yeah, absolutely a nightmare situation here for Angelo. Was looking really well, but then just that battle with M. Sapala, that's what really set the chain of events happening, because M. Sapala just slightly forced, I believe slightly showed Angelo the edge of the racetrack, and that was it. That was all it took. Angelo had nowhere to go, lost a lot of time, a lot of positions, and it really just didn't fruition. There was nothing that could have been done in that situation, and it has proved quite the detriment as Kihilu does get past Evil there. So that is a change in positions there, and Kihilu up into 5th place, so top 5 there. Not a bad result for Kihilu. It is obviously still a Sauber 1-2 out in front as things stand. And, well, another brake marker board has just been taken out for good measure. I just about saw.
Rest in peace.
Rest in peace, as always. Or rest in pieces, brake marker board. Because I'm just so funny and comedic that I had to make that joke. But we are getting towards the end of this race, and we got 9 laps to go here at Circuit de Barcelona, Catalonia, and it was Evil who nearly just went a spinning there, and catching the car like that. I mean, you've got to have some real racer reactions to do that, and even if you were, at one point, a racer, you might not be able to save it, because I certainly wouldn't be able to save that, and I was not half bad when I used to race competitively, whether that be in real life or on the game. But now, Angelo down the inside, and that is to be expected there. The pace of Evil has been a little choppy, a little more all over the place since going on to these medium tires. It's been a very interesting to see for Evil how the pace hasn't always been there, and the battery is really, really low. So that could be part of why it is not working in Evil's favour. But now Angelo wanting to catch up to this top 5.
Spicer is now right behind him. Slash, he's caught up to the pack. The comeback is on. Spicer, who had an incident at turn 1, which cost him a few places at the start, he's going to try and move at the inside for 9th place into 10th, and there he goes into 9th. He goes, not 10th, Logan, 9th. Meanwhile, the gap now, 2.3 seconds between the top 2, both Cyber drivers. With Justin in 3rd, he had a calamitous crash at Las Vegas, but he doesn't want a repeat of what happened there. He wants to make sure he finishes this race. Unlike last time, where it could have been the win for him, but he's going to get past Marius, and now the 1-2 is broken once again. They're in a Cyber sandwich, the Red Bull. Meanwhile, Pfizer cannot catch up to Larpa and pass him. Not yet anyway. They're starting to really close up once again. If Angelo closes up, then we've got a real fight on our hands. Look how close. 2nd through 5th bar. It's like microsurgery up there, as one British touring car commentator from the 90s would say. Not Murray Walker, the other one, I forget his name. I need getting DVDs for that. But 2.5 seconds now is the gap, and this is only helping Riley because he was about 2.2 last time, and now this is only going to help him if they keep battling amongst each other. Are they going to have a temporary truce and then they're going to go all guns blazing in the final few laps? That's what I'd be doing at this rate, but I'm no racing driver at all. As you can tell, that's why I am here. Spicer, looking to see what he can do to get past. There's going to be a DRS train up ahead now, but he's going to try and make the most of it. See if he can get something out of this. He's got about 15% battery, Byron.
Yeah, absolutely. Low battery does equal plenty of problems for these drivers, and especially at a track like this, because as we mentioned earlier, recharging is not easy. It is quite the mission, and it does mean you can't use that overtake button much. But when you are a man like Spicer and you are on a move, you're trying to make those dives, you're trying to make those moves and gain those all-important championship points, you're really going to be trying everything you possibly can.
Whoa! Whoa! Justin nearly lost it in turns 5. I thought that was going to be it for him, but no, he keeps it together and is still ahead of Marius. I don't know if you thought it, but it looked like he was going to lose it out of the turn, but he saved it.
Well, very good save there, clearly, from Justin, and it must be these mediums going off. I really panically thought Riley McKay, because those tyres must be feeling very second-hand.
Sorry, Larpa had an 10 and 11, and I think Spicer might have been caught in that. No, got no damage on the car. He's fine, but he ran into the back of Larpa very lightly, and now the battles are going to kick off once again as Mario's going to get past Justin. No, he's not. Depala comes close as well. They're all so close to each other, and that's what this 1K straight can do to you. It can bring the pack much tighter knit. But this is helping Riley McKay. Riley, in a world of his own, he has pretty much led the entire race unchallenged. Unchallenged. A rarity in every division of PSGL. It's always so competitive. Unlike Max Verstappen. But he's kept it on the ground today. Kept it out of trouble and kept plain sailing, and now he is 5 laps away from a dominant victory as everyone else is battling behind him.
Yeah, absolutely. It does take a lot of skill and a lot of pace to be able to take a near lights to flag victory, and Riley McKay really is proving how difficult it is, because those around him have had amazing pace, but he's just had to be that little bit stronger. But we are keeping an eye on all of these battles that are possibly going to be happening. Spies are obviously the one to watch, but those softs really must be beginning to feel secondhand, and it's not going to be long until we're thinking about the fact that those aren't going to be competitive, and he might even slip back, possibly, potentially, depending on how secondhand and how bad they end up feeling. Obviously, the hard versus the soft, there's more of a pace difference there, and there's more of a wear difference. The wear difference between these two tyres is smaller, but you will still lose quite a lot of lap time being on more worn tyres. So keep an eye out on what is going on here at the track. We are nearly on lap 30 here of 33, nearly just 3 laps to go, and Spicer down the inside of Lapa there, and I got a shocking camera angle, so I can't tell how clean that was of an overtake. It didn't look too bad from my view, but I wasn't quite able to keep the best eye on it.
Well, I think Spicer had a little bit of contact with Larper, but he's got through anyways, and now is finally up to 8 after several laps of trying to get up there. Meanwhile, up ahead, Mario's back into second place. We might be doing this for a while. Just keep your eyes peeled for that. Now he's got M. Sapala right behind us, Justin, as well as Kahilu and Angelo, who's been lingering in 6th for quite a while now, ever since he fell several positions with that mistake a few laps ago. And Spicer really needs to hustle. This plan, it looked like it was working, but it really is not in the long run. And there was an opportunity there for Angelo, gone and missed. Round turn number 5 after a slow entry from Kahilu. Now coming through 7 and 8 once again before number 9 and the next DRS straight. Riley still lingering in first place. He's been there from the very start pretty much, bar pit stops. And look at this, there's a massive move for Spicer, and he spun Evil round. Surely that's going to be a penalty for Spicer. That was way too brave of a move. Too cocky of a move, I should say. I don't think I've really used the word cocky, a bit extreme and derogatory, but he did seem to dive way too much, and now he's defending from Larper. Does he have damage, perhaps? As there's no change for second place, as he keeps defending his 7th place, does Spicer. And it seems to be working, but now I'm starting to think he has no pace left in these softs, and Larper sensed it, and that's why he's going for the move right now. All falling apart for Spicer.
Yeah, absolutely. It's really not working for Spicer, that gamble on those soft compound tyres. We thought it could be genius doing the inverse, but it's really not worked out that way. It seems like the better time to be on those tyres was at the beginning, because the pace Riley McKay was able to extract from those softs, whilst everyone else was on hards, it really worked. That pace difference was really there, but everyone on mediums, the pace just hasn't been there for Spicer, and it has been a difficult race, and there will definitely be a few stewards' reports regarding a few incidents that have happened throughout this race. So yellow flag there, that is for Devon there retiring in the pit lane. So you'll see that car just over there.
Why is he blooming? Oh my goodness, he nearly hit him. That's so reckless of the game to let him do that. That's nearly hitting the car. That might have distracted Mario's there. As Hilo and Angelo battling into turn 4, and finally up to 5th. Sorry, I missed that. As Hazara's pitting, I think he's given it up. He's going to try and get the fastest lap in the game. Quite an interesting strategy. There you go. Point if you finish in the top 10 and get the fastest lap, though. So, yeah. Riley's still well ahead. Mario's in second. Got the shock of his life as he came through turn number 2, seeing the Devon retire on the track. Justin now right behind, wants his second place. Sapala and Angelo also in the mix. Hilo starting to drop back. Larper is not coming close anymore. And Spicer, his soft play gone. It's the final lap now.
Absolutely, final lap of the race, and it is Riley McKay out in front, and it has not looked in doubt for that position at all. That is a driver gone round there towards the back. That is Evil, I believe, there. So, shocker.
Mario's just lost 2 places. Mario's lost 2 places. He's lost 2 places, and now Angelo is coming behind.
Absolutely, Angelo really putting the pressure on Marios now. This is exactly what Hazara would have wanted, but Hazara would have wanted to be the Haas right behind Marios right about now, but incidents have really hampered Hazara's chance here of getting a point swing that was really needed here, and it's just not going to happen, unfortunately, because Hazara's all the way down in 13th. No chance of points when you're that far down. Absolutely nothing worth doing on that particular occasion. And Hazara might as well have just left the racing boots at home, because there's going to be nothing going his way. But it is going the way of Riley McKay. It is Sauber's first entry in PSGL and F3 for PlayStation, and it is a win in style for Riley McKay, who takes victory here in Spain, followed by Enela, Justin and M. Spala rounding up that top 3. Marios in 4th, managing to hold off Angelo there. Kahilu in 6th, Lapa in 7th, Spicer there just holding on by 0.3 of a second ahead of M-Lash there for 8th, and then LRB rounding out that top 10. And Evil 8 seconds outside of it. Does Hazara get the fastest lap? You would certainly expect so. On those fresh and grippy soft compound tyres, it does look like the fastest lap goes Hazara's way. But it is a miserable day for Hazara, realistically, because nothing has really gone Hazara's way after that race. I mean, the emotion and amount of misery that would be going through the likes of Hazara's mind after a race that could have gone so well went so poorly.
And now he is, I believe, is 15 points behind Marios. Sapala gets 3rd, and as a result jumps into 3rd, now on 43 points. Justin is now up to 40 points, and in fact will be tied with Top G, but Top G gets the nod for having a win, and of course Justin doesn't. And there's your result. Riley McKay is your winner. So Justin Sapala in 2nd and 3rd respectively. Marios in 4th after starting 3rd. Angelo finished in 5th from a 2nd place start. Not what he would have wanted, but he does get 6 points, so now he's on 8. Kihilo manages to get up to 35 points. Larpa 7th, Spicer in 8th, Flash in 9th, and LRB in 10th. Evil, Raphael, Hazara, Devon, and Ethan will not receive any points. Ethan being the only driver not classified for not finishing 90% of the race. But tonight, it was undisputedly Riley McKay's race.
Absolutely. I mean, Sauber having their first official entry in terms of PSGL. I mean, they might still be Alfa Romeo in the game, but they are Sauber as of the 1st of January 2024, technically, but they do like to be known as Kick F1 team or Stake F1 team, depending on what country we are heading to.
Don't mention the gambling company.
Well, unfortunately, we're going to have to get used to it because that's what it's going to be in the game next year. It's going to be Kick F1 team in the game next year.
It can't be that gambling company due to obvious reasons. Because, you know, we can't broadcast these things to kids, you know? Can't get them hooked with their pocket money.
Oh dear, don't stop me buying my Apex Legends loot boxes. Well, that was a round and a half. 33 laps of Spain we just had. Riley McKay might have nearly led it from start to finish, but there was a massive story to be painted throughout. Incidents that will certainly be talked about relentlessly. Drivers will be unhappy. Some might be filing stewards reports. Others will be certainly throwing some stern words in other drivers' directions. But that does conclude round number 8. We have just 3 races left in the season. I've got a message from Big C, and I need to see if it's anything important. We're talking about F1 esports, so not really anything important. But I will, seeing as we've got this stream, and there's not many people here, I'll just throw in a cheeky PC F1 is back on Wednesday once again for round number 2. What track is it? Who knows? It's a mystery once again. I do actually know what track it is, but I'm not saying because I'm not allowed. I will get castrated.
Well, yeah, I'm telling you right now, it's definitely not going to be Sepang or Hockenheim.
And it's not Bahrain or Abu Dhabi, because those tracks aren't allowed to be it because they were F1 esports. And Abu Dhabi has potholes, apparently.
Fair enough.
However, if you are looking for your racing fix, here is what is coming up for PSGL. We have Gran Turismo 7 returning very, very shortly, and that will be live streamed to our YouTube. I believe that is on a Tuesday. Then looking to our other racing series, if you're wanting to catch the best of the best, PCF1 happening on Wednesday. That will be at 7 p.m. Do not miss that. We had a stunning race. First time out, Otis Lawrence took pole, a well-proven talent, but it was Janet Beresnay who took the race win for Red Bull, even though he is signed to Mercedes. But that is another story entirely. If you're looking for your other PC racing fix, that will be on Thursday when all of the other tiers take to the track for PC. And then this time next week, next Monday, we will be going to Miami. We'll be heading to the Miami circuit, around the Hard Rock Stadium, around the marina that might be fake or might be not, and we'll be taking it around that circuit, that lovely, lovely, luscious, brand new race circuit that can only be a roller coaster of emotions for all of our drivers as they go through the twists and the turns of the Miami circuit. But until then, I have had a wonderful live stream. Have you had a wonderful live stream, Logan?
Yeah, it's been alright. Of course, it wasn't quite as exciting as thought. We'd been up the front. It was completely dominant by the Sauber of Riley McKay. And it's a very earned window, of course. He worked very well in conjunction with Marius, so props got to be given to him. Not only is he a race championship leader, he's also a team player as well, and I love to see that.
Absolutely. Well, as I have already said, your racing fixes coming up. It is time to say goodbye once again for PSF3, but we'll be back this time next week for Miami. But until then, there's plenty of racing action to keep up on. Keep your eyes out for highlights for round number 1 of PCF1. That should be coming out tomorrow. But until then, thank you very much for watching PSGL. We will be back this time next week. But until then, goodbye.